What's going on, Jerome's? Happy Monday, happy Labor Day. Hopefully you had a fun, safe holiday weekend. I'm still surprised about how many of my neighbors still have fireworks. It's like, bruh. I mean, 4th of July was 2 years ago. Anyways, a handful, a gaggle, just like a loose collection of Vikings news tidbits that we want to jump in on. And yes, Kyle Rudolph retired. We're going to do a separate video on that, give a little respect to... I don't know why. How come people didn't make more of a thing of we literally had a Rudy from Notre Dame? But we'll get to it. So first up, Justin friggin' Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the National Football League. Yes, he deserves to be paid as the best, as the highest non-quarterback in NFL history. He's going to get something done, hopefully this week. Yada, 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 yada. But he's still not getting the respect from the national media jabroni haircuts. Now, I know in the grand scheme of things, is it really important what they think? But also they do determine the perceptions of, the very casual fans. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a casual fan, but if you don't keep up with the game and then you just see, the talking heads on ESPN or NFL Network or whatever Nouveau channel TBD, you're just like, oh, yeah, Justin Jefferson, he's not top 5. Oh, yeah, he's not as good as Devontae. Oh, he's definitely not as good as Jamar Chase. That's what they think, even though it's ridiculous. But Skip Bayless. So we generally shy away from talking about Skip Bayless because he's just a caricature at this point, like he's human clickbait. But sometimes he says things that are just so stupid that you just have to be like, this is really stupid. And he gets paid a very large amount of money to say very stupid things. That's also my life goals. So last week, Skip Bayless was talking about the top 100 list and how it was Mahomes at 1, Justin Jefferson at 2. Now, he was rallying against Jefferson being at 2, and he basically just compares it like, hey, Lamar Jackson or Justin Jefferson, who would you rather have? And, he poo-poos on the wide receiver position, even though, hilariously, he was on the panel with Michael Irvin, the playmaker, Keyshawn Johnson, former number 1 overall pick, and also Richard Sherman, who originally was a wide receiver at Stanford. So he just comes out, hey, your position sucks. That's all, man. But yeah, he tries to make that. So it's not even you're just downgrading what Jefferson does on the field, what he does for this offense. Your entire premise is just quarterback throws ball to receiver, so quarterback more important. And it's funny, throughout all these conversations, no one ever mentions how good Kirk Cousins is. I mean, everyone likes to shat on Kirk. He's the dad nerd, and he's barely a top 15 quarterback. So Jefferson should actually get more credit for breaking all of those records in the first 3 years of his career with a millstone around his neck of Kirk Cousins at quarterback. That should be it, right? That's literally how your stupid logic works, but it doesn't. And it's so funny. So Keyshawn Johnson, like we said, was on this panel. He talks about how, first off, JJ didn't make Keyshawn's top 5 list for receivers earlier this offseason. And then he talks about how JJ can't play outside, which is ridiculous. Yeah, that was a concern for him coming in the draft, but has Keyshawn watched NFL football the last 3 years? It's crazy, man. One saving grace, though, Michael Irvin, our guy, the playmaker, he did talk about how back in the day he was seeing these young high school kids in Jefferson and Jamar Chase, etc., and they compared his competitiveness, Michael Irvin's competitiveness. He saw the coach saw that in Justin Jefferson, so at least we have that. At least the playmaker is still on the good side of the list, man. There you go. Also, so Chris Jones holding out, Nick Bosa holding out. Now Chris Jones is 30. I mean, Chris Jones already gotten paid, but yes, he wants Aaron Donald money. Nick Bosa is heading into his 5th-year option, and he's basically in the T.J. Hawkinson situation. They're both in the same draft class, but Bosa is really like putting the thumb down on the scale, trying to get a deal done. Now, sure, I respect that. Where players want to get paid, and then you can use every single option that you do have. Sure, but you know who didn't hold out? You know who isn't holding out? Justin Jefferson. I mean, yes, he missed voluntary OTAs because he had some promotion opportunities, but you know who's not holding out? You know who's not hurting their team heading into the season? Justin Jefferson. Yeah, you know who deserves to get paid the most? Justin Jefferson. That's right. But I think it speaks to the culture. I think it speaks to his competitiveness, his team-first attitude. It's like, hey, Like, he could be holding out just the same as Chris Jones and Nick Bosa, but he's not. He's here. He was here for every single moment of training camp, and he's ready to hit the ground running week 1 and help this team win games. And the Vikings will have to win games because allegedly the Lions are just winning the division, just handing them the trophy now. Wait. That would be so depressing if there was like an NFC North trophy. It'd be so dinky. Anyways, but General Manager Brad Holmes of the Detroit Lions, who I have a lot of respect for because he trades with Kwesi. So he talked about the high expectations for the Lions this year. This is from Dov Kleeman. Lions GM Brad Holmes says he has. By the way, doesn't Brad Holmes sound like the name of an adult actor? Anyways, very high confidence that Detroit will win the NFC North title this season. Would be their first division title since 1993. Again, the Vikings week 1 playing the Buccaneers, a team that's won the NFC, won our division more recently than the Lions. We've gone through a lot of darkness to get to this point. Darkness. You merely adopted it. I was born in it. I was molded by it. I'm a Vikings fan. I do think that we took our medicine in the past couple years. Me and Lions coach Dan Campbell talk about it all the time. Holmes said, we coached the Senior Bowl. We had to do hard knocks. We don't know that. Lode. You paid your penance because you had to coach the Senior Bowl. You had to go down to Veets, down to Mobile. And also you got to have a jump, a head start on some of these draft prospects by being able to coaching them one-on-one. And then you had to do hard knocks. Ooh. Hey, you know who basically does hard knocks? Every single team, every single season, because of their in-house media staff that produces content. Please. But that's where the grit comes in place in terms of just not really wavering and put your head down or get discouraged. And we just kind of put that focus in building the best rooster that we can, really getting the best football players he added. Okay. I mean, cool. Hey, didn't you start out 1-6 last year? How'd that work out? Like, wasn't everyone getting fired last year? How'd that work out? But hey, congratulations. You rallied towards the end of the season. Also, you're apparently going to extend Jared Goff long time, which for that we thank you. So go ahead. Go ahead. Again, all these sky high expectations. There's only one place to go. There's only one place to go, man. And also, I can't wait for Thursday because I feel like the Chiefs are going to absolutely expose the Lions. I generally don't get angry about things, but the Lions hype had crescendoed at that point. So you're putting the Lions on national television on kickoff weekend against the Super Bowl champs, and I just want the Lions to lose by 30. That's all I want, man. That's all I want. Something I also want is a future franchise quarterback. Kyle Jerome, Ezekiel Sluter. He could have been it. Probably not, but certainly could. He'll always be, the preseason superstar for Vikings fans out there. And Sluter, I mean, he's been on social media lately. I think he might be starting to prep himself for a media career, which I think he certainly would be fantastic at. And he had some thoughts on Vikings rookie quarterback Jaren Hall. This is what he said. Kyle Sluter, go. Quarterback Jaren Hall for the Vikings may have taken one of the biggest steps forward in the NFL in preseason week 3. I thought he played with much better timing and rhythm and made great decisions coupled with accurate balls. Here, Jaron gets a deep cross concept versus cover 3. He immediately eliminates the post due to the single high deep safety and climbs the pocket and hits the second progression with an impressive ball in stride. Being able to throw accurately without having his feet set makes a degree of difficulty on this throw through the roof. Easy to see why the Vikings kept him on the 53. So that's high praise. That's right. Jaren Hall, everyone is in love with a backup quarterback as long as it isn't like Trevor Siemian or Nick Mullins or something like that, or Sean Mannion. Yeah. But everyone is looking towards the future guy. And Kyle Sluter for a while, he could have been the guy. But, Jaren Hall, obviously the Vikings invested a 5th-round pick in him, as well as Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi hand-selected him. They could have traded for Trey Lance. They didn't. They kept Hall on the 53-man roster, and they just go from there. Also, Sluter, speaking of getting into the media, so his top 3 quarterbacks at 2024 NFL Draft, Caleb Williams, Shador Sanders, and Drake May. Oh, my God. That'd be great. I wish there was some place we could wager if Williams and May are not the top 2 picks, because I think that there may be a bit of an upset. I think so. It's gonna be great, man. Also gonna be great is So the Griddy, iconic, all that stuff. And people always say that, hey, Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase invented the Griddy. Actually, apparently it was Jamar Chase's friend La Griddy, Alan Davis, who obviously is tight with Justin Jefferson as well. So La Griddy, respect, should get the credit. There you go. It was just Jefferson and to a degree Chase that made it into a worldwide phenomenon. But actually Justin Jefferson. But so the Vikings put out a video of JJ catching a touchdown naturally. Actually, he only caught 8 touchdowns last year. I would like to see that number doubled, but and then him doing the Griddy, and then La Griddy comes in and is like, hey, we got some new moves, and then apparently there's going to be a new Griddy. Like, how do you improve on perfection? I don't know, man. But after Justin Jefferson scores like 3 or 4 touchdowns against the Buccaneers, I guess we're going to see the Griddy 2.0 or something like that. We'll see. Also, wrapping up. So KJ Osborne is doing his second annual back to school drive. So all of your Lifetime Fitnesses in the great state of Minnesota, in the metro area, dropping off school supplies. It would be great to do because some kids go back to school, they don't have everything that they need, just like the basic stuff, and something that we potentially do take for granted. So being able to have those supplies, get them into the right hands, get them to the right kids. I mean, it's just something that's great to do. So I love that KJ is doing this. So any school supplies that's on the list, you can take it to your local Lifetime in the metro, and really support a good cause. So again, props and major respect to KJ Osborne for doing this thing. But that's it. That's Vikings Monday, Labor Day news dump. Yeah, we'll get to Kyle Rudolph in a separate video. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.